Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
America is losing nearly 2 million acres of timberlands a year. The U.S. Forest Service expects 44 million acres to be converted to development by 2030. North Carolina is one of a growing number of states buying forest land in an effort to boost their local economies and protect their backyard ecosystems. In another installment of our North Carolina Rising project, Christine Rogers travels to Hoke County to see how residents there are developing the state's first community forest.
Yeah, so you can use the other side too, Christine, like I'm doing too. Just smooth it out.
On a cold winter morning, Boy Scouts from Troop 957 in Fayetteville are hard at work clearing trails for Hoke County's new community forest.
We got a whole bunch of logs that are buried up under here that from erosion have started to become uncovered. So we got to dig those up out of here and make this trail safe for horses to cross it.
This is Brody Baynard's Eagle Scout project, and just one example of how the community is taking ownership of this project, the first of its kind in the state.
I think that it represents possibly the future of Hoke County, or part of our future. Opening up this land to people and making it more usable and user-friendly will make us known for what we know about it, which is the sand hills, the pine forest, the lumber river. Hopefully that'll be a draw for people to come and live here, to visit here, and to see this as a destination.
For recreation, the community forest will provide trails for hiking, biking, and horseback riding.
Horseback riders are honestly probably one of the biggest fans of this project because it's going to be the first public free riding area, certainly in the county and probably the region as well. There's not a lot of infrastructure you really need to provide in order for folks to come out and enjoy the activities that they can on this property. And it's something that, upon hearing about it, people have really come out of the woodwork to help out with this project, to volunteer, and to see this project realized so they can come out here and ultimately enjoy it.
Situated on 532 acres, this property once belonged to International Paper Company. The Conservation Fund purchased the land for $1.3 million in an effort to come up with a plan that would be good for the economy and the environment.
The idea behind community forestry is to help people not only own and manage the land, but also to create small businesses, job opportunities that could be tied directly to the land, to sustainably harvesting the timber.
Well, I think that this is an opportunity for Hoke County to showcase some of its resources. We don't have the metropolitan area and the shopping and retail that would attract a lot of folks here, but we do have natural resources that we think are quite varied and attractive. And this is an opportunity to show that.
The most economically distressed areas across the country are also home to the richest natural resources, and that's equally true for Hoke County. Nearly 18% of Hoke County residents live in poverty. The agricultural downturn and manufacturing job losses have taken their toll on the local economy. The Conservation Fund believes the community forest has the potential for job creation. Part of the long-term development plan is to convert a large portion of the land from loblolly pine to longleaf pine, which will also expand habitat for the endangered red cockaded woodpecker.
Some of the income that will be generated from this property is going to be through the raking of longleaf pine straw, which is a very non-invasive procedure that will allow the county to recoup some of the funds that they may have gotten through the property taxes for this land.
In essence, instead of putting millions of dollars into a shell building or a manufacturing facility, they'll have their own natural manufacturing facility here, and it's going to clean the air. It'll be a great place to keep their community as natural as it can be, and people can have good jobs. We're looking at a variety of things, including the possibility perhaps that there might be young people might be able, for example, to raise meat goats out here to help manage the understory, keep the shrubs and things like that from growing up, That creates good habitat for the woodpeckers, and it also would be an opportunity to create some small businesses for young people.
Another benefit of the forest is the buffer it will provide for Fort Bragg. The sprawling Army base is just 1 mile from the town of Rayford.
The military needs a buffer because they do things that are noisy sometimes. They need a buffer because the wildlife on the base needs to be able to go off the base and travel to other areas, and the buffers help with that. And the military is very concerned about the wildlife on the base. In the future, we now have to figure out ways to replace agriculture and textiles as a way of making a living, and the military represents the possibility of a new industry for us, which is to provide a place to live and a place for military families, and you know, be the neighbor to Fort Bragg.
Our economic resources are limited. We have to look at what's available to us, and I mean, this is here, and there are ways to take advantage of that and attract others here as well.
The Conservation Fund admits while the community forest will not create hundreds of jobs, it does offer Hoke County promise for the future.
The reality is that very often people do think that you have to choose, that you can either have good jobs or you can have a healthy environment. And when you go back in history, people lived off the land and figured out, in their own words, how to make money off the land without messing it up. And that's really the idea here.
Eventually, the Hoke County Department of Parks and Recreation will manage the property. The Conservation Fund believes the integrated approach to environmental protection and economic development will help alleviate some of the challenges Hoke County is facing. The fund is looking to implement other strategies with its partners on adjacent lands to complement the work of the community forest. To find out more about the program or any of the other stories we've featured in our North Carolina Rising series, visit our website at unctv.org/NCRising.
Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.